Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu over the years have been speaking on the uniqueness of the Ndigbos and the fact that the old eastern region has been one, has always been one, but divided into sections. And over the years as well, persons have started listening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and they have started looking at it in a broader perspective. Well, as we speak, there seems to be a contrary or a little different view of the ones that everyone have known, and it's coming from somebody who's quite renowned, someone who also knows his onions, who over time have been known to be a man of wisdom, great wisdom. Looking at some of his speeches and some of his write-ups, but as we speak now, we are now at crossroads. Is there some part of history that we do not know? Historians, please follow us as we go through this news and find out where are the clauses. Why are we looking at the Ndigbos in a different light? And I'm as confused as most people. And I honestly claim when I indulge is that when we get to the comment section, so for some of us who know a lot about history, please let's interact more. As this is coming from Reno Omokri and he's saying something that I never knew about the Ndigbos. This is strange, this is new, but then Reno Omokri is known to do a lot of fact finding. But before we go into the newspaper, I would like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel or YouTube. Well, he said something about the Ishekiris and the Benis. He said the Ishekiris and the Benis had Igbo slaves for centuries before British colonialism. But let's go straight into the news. He said, after the British banned slavery, we were forced to set them free. Some of them returned to Igbo land, others remained with us and gradually formed a new language called an Ishekiri word which was used to call them while they were our slaves. There were about 200,000 still with us. Now he now went further. He said, I will not reveal the name of this tribe called because I do not want to offend them, but they are in Delta State. If they speak an Igbo person will understand some of what they said, while Ishekiris, the Benis, and even the European Portuguese people will also understand them too. Those of them who chose to return to Igbo land have Igbo names that sound like Ishekiri or Benin names. For example, Iweka, that's Iweka, Iweka, instead of Emeka or Eweka. And many names beginning with Oba or Ikan, as in Iken, Oba, Oba. That is how some of our names and also Benin names went into the Igbo lexicon. We have century-old carvings in Ode, Isekiri, and Benin depicting Igbo slaves, which we sold to the Portuguese via our ancient pre-colonial port called Ogidigbe. The grandfather of the present Oba of Benin shows some of these carvings to the world famous British anthropologist, that's Sir David Attenborough, in 1973. The video is actually on YouTube. When you see the carvings, even you have no doubt that the person is Igbo. Because of the sheer number of Igbo slaves we sold at Igidigbe, the Portuguese named the town Escravos, which means slave in Portuguese. Till today, many people still call Ogidigben Escravos. We also sold slaves in another town called Bruto, which the Portuguese renamed Folcados, meaning forced laborer, which is a nicer way of saying slaves. Obviously, I am not too proud of this history. I wish it never happened. History is not always present, it's not always pleasant, rather. I am only revealing it to you because you are getting the wrong idea of linkages between our two people. Whoa, this is quite strong. Okay, but a lot of Nigerians are now wondering, going through some of his pages, he now went ahead to explain. Somebody said, so what it means, somebody replied him when he said those statements. Somebody said, wow, Ikemboa, that sounds Igbo. It means strength of nations in Igbo meaning. I still believe today that Ishikiri and Igbo culture are so close, their names too. Now that Ikemboa is spelled Ikengbuwa, and though the meaning in Igbo is strength of nations, I guess it has a meaning in Ishekiri. A lot of Nigerians are reacting. I also seem to be reacting to this because I'm wondering. I never knew, honestly, that this has any linkage with Ndigbos. I've always seen Ndigbos differently. I know of their linkages. Biafra then, not now, because then was a carved nation that later they amalgamated. They brought all Arawa, Oduduwa, all merging it into Nigeria. I, I also know, okay, I also know, if you have ever watched the Kunta Kuntes, that slave trade video, they picked arbitrarily, all right, the Portuguese and all. Then Ndigbos naturally are hard workers. If you also notice, also Ndigbos generally, you notice that they work anywhere in the world. Any country you don't see an Igbo man, I think you should be a bit hesitant to live in there, because they adapt. Their features are strong. All right, the things that naturally or usually would have brought down other persons, you know, I don't know the kind of genes they carry, but they weather the storm. Genetic strength, I guess, or hereditary, I don't know. But over time, over the years, there are even those days I could still remember that you can use an Igbo man, especially someone black. You can work in the farm plantation for months before you even think of breaking down. They have inner strength and inner will. But I never knew this part of history where they said the Beninese. I think where Reno Omokri is coming from is the fact that there's a closeness. Mazen Kanu kept on talking then, whenever he's making his broadcast, that there's linkages between our culture, the cultures of the South, especially the old Eastern region, how, these guys, Delta, Igbo, Anyoma, Southeast, South, there's a correlation, and they share the same culture, the same name, the slight difference in pronunciation and spellings, but that they share the same, culture, and hence they are one. And if Biafra should be actualized, they should follow literally. That's what he meant. But now, Reno is coming from a different perspective, saying that the relativeness of the culture has nothing to do with the fact that they are from or they are in or are from Igbos per se, but it's because of what transpired in history, where some of the Ndigbos were seen as were working as slaves because of the Portuguese and the colonial masters that came around. And when they were now set free at some point, some of them stayed back with the culture of the Ndigbos mixed with the culture of the tribes they were staying with. I think then the Benis and the rest, and hence they formed a unique culture so similar to that of the Ndigbos. But would you take that away from the fact that they are also Igbos? They are still Igbos. So if they refuse to say, some went back to the southeast, some remained. So if they remain, they are still Igbos. I'm just, looking at the conclusion based on the fact that he mentioned history. So that part you still said that are from a particular tribe and not really Igbos. If you now check history truly, they were actually Igbos who that were brought up from a particular region to that place to work. And when they were set free, they decided to stay back. That means they had the bloodline of the Ndigbos.